So our next topic is database management or data management subsystem, which having the different kind of models. In that, the main one is the decision support database, through which DSS is able to take any kind of decision based on the problem. Okay, so the first thing is, what is DSS database? So as we know that we are using the database to store the different kind of data, but before storing the data we have to extract it from the different sources. So what is mean by the data extraction? It is process of capturing the data from several sources and determine whether it is relevant data or not and organize it properly. This is working of the data extraction phase. So there are several phases are given through which we can extract our data, which is useful for the DSS system. So it consists of internal data source, external data source, organizational database, private personal data, and the corporate data warehouse. So again, there are subfield through which we can extract the internal data source. So internal data source is related to that particular organization, such as the data of finance, marketing, production, personal, and some other things which are related to organization only. After that, the some external data sources. So what are the external data sources required? Such as the market research of data, then census data, and some data which are related to the government rules and the regulation. So all this data comes under the external data sources. Then again, some existing database of the organization, private personal data of that organization, and the corporate data warehouse. So by using all these field, we can extract the data for the decision support system. And then the next one is the database management system. So as you learn the full subject of database management, we use the database for creating the data, accessing the data, and update it by using the database management system. In that, there are two sub-model. The first one is the query facility and the data directory. So what is data directory? It is a catalog of the data in the database. So we can say that by arranging the data as a module wise, and we can save that data into the data directory. After that, what is the query facility? As we learn the SQL language, that is structure query language, so in that we use the different kind of queries to access the data, to retrieve the data, to update the data, and to delete the data. So all such kind of facilities are provided by the query facility model. Okay. So it also includes the data definition, data source, the meaning of the data, and the updation of the new entries, deletion of the new entries, and the insertion of the new entries. So all the data related queries are included in the query facility model. After that, the next part is the interface management, model management, and knowledge base subsystem. So in that, suppose as we know that whenever we are talking about the interface, so we have to keep in mind that we are talking about the graphical user interface. And in case of BI, we can think the interface is like a dashboard from where user can access the data in the form of pictorial presentation, for which we are going to use the different kind of charts and different kind of tools. So instead of reading the theoretical data, we have to design the interactive dashboard for the user, which are user friendly and which are easy to understand for the user. After that, the model management subsystem. So the model management subsystem provide us the four basic functions. In that, as we know that any model is made by using some programming languages. Model is nothing but the small kind of software through which we can update our data. We can providing some functioning to that model and it will work according to the user's perspective. So the first function is the model creation using the programming language. Then we have to generate the new routines and the new reports. So with the help of dashboard, we can create the report. Report is nothing but the PDF format of any kind of a dashboard. Then the next one is the model updating and changing. So as we know that in first lecture, I have told you that whenever we use live connection of a data, it get updated automatically because we had access that data through server only. But whenever we are extracting the data, that data is in form of static mode. So every time we have to update that data, and the next module is model data manipulation. So again it is same as the updation, we have to manipulate the data. So all such kind of functions are performed by the model management. Then the last one is the knowledge based subsystem. So it is an incorporation of the intelligence and the expertise knowledge component, such as the expert system, knowledge management system, neural network, fuzzy logic. All such kind of things are considered under the knowledge based management. So as we know that the definition of the knowledge, whenever we are extracting some kind of data from the information, such kind of things are happen under the knowledge base subsystem. Okay, understood? Yes or no? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
After that, our next topic is the types of DSS. So as mentioned in the figure, there are 5 types of DSS. First one is the communication, then data, document, knowledge and models. So what is meant by the communication? Yes, what is meant by the communication?
Transfer of
Yeah,
information.
this is a transfer of information, and for this type, we have to consider the media through which we can communicate. Okay, so communication driven DSS, which are enhancing the communication within the organization. They are targeted at internal teams, including its partners. Its purpose is to conduct a meeting or for the user to collaborate and discuss regarding the issues in the meeting. So why we use the communication driven DSS? It make it easier for every participant to send and receive the communication and interact with other in real time from their respective location without meeting physically. So the best example is that as we know that in this pandemic situation, we are interacting with each other using such a kind of communication driven tools such as the Google Meet, MS Teams, then Zoom. So, and also the WhatsApp is also the interactive media, then chat and instant messaging softwares. So, all these things gives us the support, or using this media we can communicate with each other. Okay, so this is called as the communication driven. Then the next one is the data driven. So it is basically based on the whatever data is feed to the DSS software. So as we know that data is very important while taking any kind of a decision. As we noticed in the decision making process, the very first thing is we have to select the correct question, and after that we have to collect the relevant data. Okay, that's why the data is very important. It is used to query a database or a data warehouse to seek a specific answer for a specific purpose. So why we use the DSS, data driven DSS? It actually want to access and manipulate the time series of internal company data and sometimes the external data. Okay, so basically it is deployed via mainframe system or the client server link or via the web. So for example, all the systems which uses the time series like signal processing, pattern recognition, weather forecasting data, they use the data driven DSS. Just keep in mind that whenever we are taking the decision with considering the such kind of data, time series data, then it goes under the data driven DSS, because we know that the data of weather forecasting is changed second by second. Okay, then the next one is the document driven. So it targeted various documents which are exploring, searching various documents, and basically they target the broad base of user groups. They search the various web pages, they find out the various keywords in the searches for all the documents. So it is based on the searching of the document on the web. So for example, the Google Docs. These are the very small concept and easy to understand. Then the next one is the knowledge base. So such kind of DSS work upon the knowledge. In this system, the knowledge being extracted, processed and presented, it helps the management to take a decision regarding the product and the services. So the one example is given over there, that is a mycin, MYCIN. This is one kind of a model which treats the certain bacterial infection and control the acne. Okay. Then the last one is the model driven. So the model driven are the complex system that help analyze the decision or choose between different option. It depends on a particular model which is based on the problem. So we can say that the model driven DSS may employ a single model or a combination of two or more models depending upon the specific needs of its user. They are not data intensive. They work on the basis of the input given by decision maker to analyze the particular situation. So basically such kind of models are used by the managers. So we are considering one example, that is any system that can be statistical, financial, mathematical or organizational model based. Like if we are considering the Excel spreadsheet with the formula. Okay, so why we are considering this example? Because this model is fixed, the formula is fixed, just we have to change the data. That's why we can say that this is the model driven DSS. Now the next part is the applications of DSS. So we can use the DSS system in the following areas such as the banking, healthcare, business management, agriculture, then for engineering projects, then the potential hazards such as a flood, and we can also use this system at school and universities. Okay, so this is the common example of the DSS. So as we know that the process of the bank loan officer verifies the credit of loan applicant. So whenever any person who has having the credit card and supports he want to apply for the loan, then what is the process of sanctioning the loan and how DSS work over here? Okay, so I think everyone know about the loan process. So what happened? The first phase is applicant should fill a loan application form, and then that form is submitted at the bank. After that, what happened? What do bank broadly check? So as that customer has applied for the bank loan based on the credit card, so first they check the CIBIL score of that customer's credit card. Okay, so what is that score? It is one of the most important factor that affect your loan approval. A good credit score and report is positive indicator of your credit health. Okay, so your CIBIL score should be good. After that, they are checking for the employment status. So apart from a good credit history, it also check for your steady income and the employment status. If you are employable or you are working as an employee somewhere, then it is good. Then the next phase is the payment status. Okay, so lenders check for any default on payment or amount of overdue cases which might project a negative overview of your overall report. After that, they check for the EMI to income ratio. Okay, so banks also consider the proportion of your existing loan when compared to your salary at the time of the loan application. So after all these things, the main part is the documentation process. So for getting the loan, you have to present the following documents to the bank. In that, the first one is the identity proof. You must have an identity proof. Under that, you can show the Aadhaar card, PAN card, or voter ID, or the valid passport. Again, the next one is the address proof. For address proof, the previous thing can be applicable like Aadhaar card, PAN card, passport. Then you have to show the proof of employment. Okay, so under the proof of employment, you can show them the salary slip or your official ID card or the letter from the company. Then the next one is the income proof. So for income proof, you have to submit the latest 3-month bank statement, salary slip for the last 3 months, as well as you have to submit the 3 passport size photographs. And if all these things are available with you, then you are eligible for the loan approval. Okay. So for such a kind of thing, as we noticed in the example, for every phase you have to take a decision, and which is based on the whatever information you have regarding that problem. Okay, so this is the scenario for the DSS. These are some advantages of the DSS. So just read it. So the first one is the time saving. As we know that the relevant information and the alternative solutions are already exist in the DSS, so we can easily take any kind of a decision. So it increase the speed and efficiency of the decision making activity, so it is time saving. Then it enhance the effectiveness. It can be collect and analyze real time data, so it enhance the effectiveness. then it is completely automated and new to the organization. Okay. Then it is completely automatic process, so the manager can spend more time on the decision making. It is implemented at middle and top level, so it improve the interpersonal communication because various managers of two level can do the meeting before taking any kind of a decision, or can take a brainstorming session which can be valuable for the organization. Also, it increase the control, competitiveness and capability of the futuristic decisions making of the organization. It also promoting for the learning. Okay. So that's it for the theoretical point of view. Okay, first let me know how many of you are installed Tableau. Please type in chat box and help others for installation. Only Achal Vaibhav. 2 members only. What about others? Prachi. Okay. So before moving towards the next chart, I want to give you one task. Just try to implement it. Okay. You have to create a bar chart which shows us the product name and quantity. Create a bar chart which shows product name and quantity. Okay. So through this problem statement, it gives us hint that you have to select the product name as a dimension and the quantity as a measure. Just you have to drag and drop it. I request to other member, please install Tableau as soon as possible. Shubham, have you installed it? Shubham Thok. जमतंय का आचल? आचल, वैभव, प्राची?
Yes, ma'am. 1 minute. It is just opening.
Okay. Vaibhav, is it possible to share your screen? Okay. So what we have to do, we have to create the bar chart which shows us the product name and quantity. So first we have to check for the product name. Okay, this is my database and here is the product. Okay. So previously it looked like this. Just click over here. Here my product name. So suppose I am going to double click on this. Okay. It will display me the name of the products. So all these entries are visible over here. Okay. By default it shifted as a row. After that I want to display the quantity of that product. Okay, so here the quantity by default it occurs in measure section. Okay, basically these blue things are displayed as a dimension and these are the measures. Okay, so just click on quantity, double click on quantity. Okay, so this is the quantity. Okay, but now I want to create the bar chart. So what I can do, just press Ctrl key and select the sum of quantity over here. Okay, so it will create the bar chart. Got it? Okay, for a time I'm going to do, okay, like this. So this is the bar chart, and suppose by hover over here, it will display the detailed information about that product and the quantity of a product. Okay, here are two options. We can sort this data in ascending and descending order. So just click over here. It will give us the data in ascending order, and for the largest one, like this. This is the descending order. Okay, and for the detailed information, suppose instead of hovering on the data plane, you can directly shows the values by using the label. Okay, so what kind of data I want to show on my bar chart, that is the quantity. So just drag the quantity into the label. Okay, so it will display the value of quantity over here. Using color, you can change the color of the bar chart. Okay, and with the help of this presentation mode, you can display the chart like this. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or no? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. By clicking the escape key, we can exit the presentation mode. Okay. So now today we are going to learn our next chart, that is the line chart. There is one hint regarding the line chart. Whenever we are creating the line chart, the date field must be present in the dimension value. Okay. So first, what is mean by line chart? A line chart compare the data over the different periods. It shows the data for fixed period of time. Okay. So just moving towards the next sheet. Suppose I want to check the sales as per the order date. Now again, the dimension and the value of the measure is given in the problem statement. That is, I have to pick order date and sales. Okay. So first select the order date. So order date and shift it as a column. And after that sales. So sales from the measure. Okay. So it automatically create the line chart. This is called as the line chart. Now there are many more options available in the order date. So it display on basis of the years. Okay. 2018, 90, 20 and 21. So instead of order date as per the year, you can select the month also. Okay. So here is the option month. Just click on month. It will display the data as per month. Okay. So this is for January, February, March, April, like this. Now it will show us the data for every month for the selected year. So the previous one is the different. For previous one, it will shows us the month only for the year 2021. Now it will display for up to 2021. This is not considered it. Okay. 2021 and the month of each year is also mentioned. Okay. So like this we can create the line chart. But instead of this, make it year for now, so we can easily tackle this data. Okay. Very simple. Just click on the order date and sum of sales, or whatever data you want to display on your dashboard. Okay. It is not necessary that every time we have to pick the sum of sales. We can pick your profit also. It will give us the year wise profit. Okay. Then we can pick the discount as well. Just click the discount over here. Like this we can create the line chart. Okay. Understood how to create line chart? Okay. Now there is one task for you guys. You have to do this up till our next lecture. Okay. Now what happened here? It will give us the quantity of each items. Okay. But the list of distinct item is not given. Okay. The list is given, but this is very huge. It is not possible for us to count it one by one. So what you have to do, you have to show me the count of distinct item which is present in the given database. Okay. So you can Google it. So for next lecture, you have to tell me the count of distinct quantity or the distinct product name available in the given data set. Is it fine? Yes or
Yes, ma'am.
no? Okay. One more thing, just want to told you that suppose I am going to pick the product name as a column, okay, and the quantity as a row. Then what happen? The data is displayed like this, okay. But being a visualization or being a user, it doesn't look good, right? So instead of this, we can select the product name as a row and the quantity as a column. Okay, so it's totally depends on the user's perspective how you want to showcase your data. And for the dashboard designing, it is very important to showcase your data properly and which is easily understand by the other users. Okay. I just want to give you one hint. You have to find out the distinct product name. Okay. So for that, you have to create the calculated field. So just I want to tell you how to create the calculated field. Go to analysis and there is an option create calculated field, and you have to make a new measure and you have to do the simple calculation over here through which you can find out the distinct product name. Okay. And one more thing, in line chart, okay, in line chart we can apply the filter. Okay, so how to apply the filter? There are many types of filter, but for now we have to apply the page label filter. So what is page label filter? That filter is only applicable for the current worksheet. This is my worksheet. Okay, so just what I have to do, I have to filter the data year wise. Okay, and for year I have to consider the field year order date. So just move that field in filter section, clear sorry, click on the years, go to the next. Okay, so all years are displayed over here. By default these are the selected, otherwise you have to select all the years. Click on apply and ok. Okay, after that click right click on the filter and click on show filter. So the filter is display over here. Okay, now suppose I want to show the data for only year 2018, then I can click on 18. It will give me the data of the 18 only. Then click here for 19, for 2020 and for 2021. So with the help of filter, we can filter our data depends on the field. Okay, suppose I want data for all these 3 years. So I can click on that particular year and choose the filter. Okay, so I am going to explain you it once. Just click on back arrow. Okay, what we have to do, we have to create the filter on year. So for year I want to select the order date. Okay, you can either pick order date from here or you can click on control key and drag that field over here. Okay, so click on order date, place in filter, then select years, select next, click all check boxes, apply OK. After that, for display the filter, just click on that field, show filter option, and then you can modify your data. Okay, understood?